these wonderful things. I do have over here to the side of me, and I'm just making sure, you can see it there, is a lovely diffuser that has been diffusing the whole time we've been doing this. And there's wonderful essential oils that you can use during pregnancy, not just the labor, but during the whole pregnancy. What do you feel are the ones we should be gravitating toward?
They're usually oils that would come to mind if you, as a mom or a mom-to-be, would naturally be inclined to go to for relaxation. So you'd think things like Roman chamomile, lavender, things like that, oils like that. So of course, those are oils that are generally safe to use during pregnancy. Now, I know that you'll understand when I touch on the point of the quality of the oil is really the important factor.
Yes.
It's not really about whether or not it's grapefruit oil, it's whether or not that is a therapeutic grade oil.
Right.
And my philosophy has been, if you can't consume it, you shouldn't apply it on your skin or diffuse it.
Right.
So throughout my sort of study and research in guiding my way through the doula path, I found what I feel is my secret doula toolkit, which are the oils. I exclusively use a line of oils by Young Living, essential oils.
Right.
Because of their therapeutic nature, and the majority of the oils are deemed nutritional supplements.
Right.
So that means the FDA and Health Canada regard them as being completely safe to ingest.
Wow, that's great.
So that's what I go with. But you bring up a good question, and more interestingly, rather than people saying, which oils can I use, I like to address which you may not want to use or should avoid during pregnancy.
Okay, good.
Specifically, this has been as a result of distillation practices in the past. So with our company of oils that we've chosen to work with, we have no question whether or not any of them are safe.
Right.
However, there are some fears that some women will have, so I address them.
Right.
And then I ask them to really use their intuition.
Okay.
Which I feel is the best guide.
Yep.
So the ones we do typically avoid are basil, calamus, cassia, cinnamon bark, clary sage, fennel, hyssop, Idaho tansy, lavandin, not lavender, nutmeg, rosemary, sage, tansy, tarragon. These oils in the past can be used, or had been known in the past to be used to, say, for example, slow down labor.
No.
Or, raise estrogen levels.
Right.
So during the first trimester, you would not want to be working with clary sage. During early stage labor, you wouldn't want to necessarily use cinnamon.
Right.
Which may encourage labor. So you have to do your research, but also I feel that working with your aromatherapist, doula, support person, you will be able to find the information necessary to best select the oils for your use.
Well, and that you were telling me a little story before we were filming about how you first started getting into essential oils and how you reacted to some of them. Can you share that story actually? Because
I actually love sharing this story because it puts me sort of in the same position as most of the moms I'm talking with. Someone would indicate an oil, hey, try this, because moms today, we don't have the options to go buy cough medicine.
Right.
You know that. I know you've had years between your children, but today it's a little different.
Yeah.
So over-the-counter medications just aren't available, and as per what pregnant women can take, there's very little. So I was guided to take a look at essential oils, and in my excitement, I just ran out and bought a big collection of essential oils that were available through a health food store.
Right.
What I found naturally once my son arrived, and even during my pregnancy, I attempted to make cleaning products, room sprays, deodorizers, and body care products for myself. I couldn't bring myself to use them. There was something internally telling me that they weren't quite right.
Right.
I didn't know what it was. It actually took me 4 years to discover what that was. With my second child, I knew I needed to look at an alternative to allergy medication. So someone had indicated lavender, which is a phenomenal oil for that. But again, going back to that drugstore, that health food store grade oil, there was something stopping me.
Right.
So I decided to take full advantage of this intuition and did my research, and definitely I was so rewarded with what I found because my suspicion was correct.
Right.
Those oils should not be used, really with anyone. They're almost like saying artificial flavoring.
Right.
Yeah. Because of the solvents, the process of distillation, we just cannot say those are therapeutic or 100% pure, etc., or safe to consume. So with Young Living, I've been sort of founded in confidence in terms of the quality of the product. Going forward, I then soften up and let mom's intuition, my intuition, come into which oils we select. Yes. And it's been very, very, just a beautiful process.
Wonderful. And I will say that I have been using essential oils ever since my second pregnancy, or actually I guess it was second child, because I didn't do it during the pregnancy. Didn't know about it at the time, but because my son had special needs, I started researching different alternatives for all his different symptoms, etc., and loved them, and it was very much intuition based. I did find Young Living, thankfully, first and foremost. I didn't go any other route, thankfully.
I'm very lucky. Well, I did my first jaunt, but luckily I didn't use them.
That's right. So I thankfully did find these, and knew right from the start that they were the wonderful way to go, and use them. I mean, from everything from, I remember people coming into my house, this is kind of digressing, but I'm going to share. And I used to put peppermint in my water, and everyone was like, oh, what did you do to your water? I'm like, oh, just a little bit of this, So, and it was just so refreshing and uplifting. So that's just some of the things that you can do. What about once so you've got the oils that you want to avoid. There are a lot of oils that are beneficial, but it's probably something that you need to work out as far as each unique case goes.
Absolutely.
Experimenting, actually smelling them, seeing how you feel with them. What about once the baby's born? Are there things that can be recommended for the baby and then also for as they grow older, right?
Definitely, and this is the area I love the most. I sort of start to focus on that baby. A little bit in advance, working with mom, we want to talk about anointing oils.
Right.
Most women, religious, all religious views aside, most women want to anoint their baby. So it's been wonderful, my education into the power of ancient oils, or ancient biblically scriptured oils, like frankincense, myrrh, myrtle, cassia. These oils have been really exciting for me because I never would have thought I'd be working with frankincense.
Right.
As much as I do. Moms get it right away. We talk about the, how do you call it, the soft effects that working with these oils, they unlock the third eye, or help stimulate the pituitary gland, etc. And moms these days understand this language. It's not so foreign or woo-woo. It's absolutely what they want to do. Right. And as well for themselves. So what we would do is a process of anointing mom, baby, and daddy. Before, when baby arrives. Right. And then going forward, we actually use a lot of the common oils mom used during pregnancy. For example, if she used one on her stomach to rub, to bond with baby for massage, that same oil would be used for baby's first massage, or to do something that we like to refer to as called imprinting. Right. You do this with animals typically, but we would use an essential oil on your sternum of daddy, and skin-to-skin contact. That baby recognizes that oil right away, and it just creates this beautiful circle. You witness it, so it's nice. And typically when the mother and father are using the oils in advance, they're actually doing their own form of bonding, where daddy feels very, very included. As you know from experience, a breastfeeding mother can always feel like a single mother. Yes. For a very long period of time with a newborn. So daddy's involvement, especially working with the oils, and to be able to give baby infant massage, great bonding tool.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, so we've got some wonderful oils to start working with right from birth. What are some other your favorites, if because obviously it's a unique thing, but your favorites, your must-have essential oils that you would recommend to everyone, no matter what stage, pregnancy, after, and childhood, etc.
That's the easiest conversation to have. Because I'm a mom of 2 children under 5, thereabouts, I am dealing with usually the majority of the children, sort of infant ailments or common childhood illnesses at some given point. And through my experience, I built again my confidence. So recommending these oils has been very, very easy. Typically, I like to recommend for most mothers to start off with some basic single oils. Lavender, of course, because you can treat cuts, scrapes, burns. A great oil to have around to reduce anxiety and restlessness. Believe it or not, a blocked tear duct with 1 drop of oil on the bridge of the nose just clears it up instantly. My son had a black eye the other day from baseball, and 1 drop, and it started to weep.
Wow.
Weep when we got home. So it actually held puffiness until we got home with the lavender. And then it just literally drained.
Wow.
And the swelling was gone, and there was no black eye.
Wow, that's amazing.
So having those on hand always. Bring them to the baseball park. Don't leave them at home like I did. But lavender is key. Lemon is an overlooked oil. It's a great, inexpensive oil. It's great for coughs, great for building the immune system and overall pH balance. It goes into all of our water. When I make my son lemonade, it goes into the lemonade. I bring it specifically out to restaurants because I will often sort of turn my nose up to tap water. And I'll just put a single drop. And as you mentioned, peppermint is definitely a favorite in the summer for its cooling properties.
And it yet energizes at the same time.
And it really is a mind oil, so it helps with clarity. It's a great oil to have around a laboring mother.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yes. The other thing with, and I was going to talk a bit more about peppermint. Peppermint's a great oil for those with nausea. And I know that's something you experienced early in your pregnancy. Most mothers do. Nausea, constipation, headaches, fever, stomach aches, and general aches and pains. So peppermint, again, an affordable oil, very accessible, but also one that you have to be a little careful with, especially around your tummy. Peppermint oil is so strong and intense, it's used to help turn breech babies.
I was going to say, I read that, and so I was thinking, well, okay, so for constipation, would you be doing it internally? Then?
Probably a little bit more, or as long as you're feeling comfortable, maybe within the first 2 trimesters, you're not concerned so much about baby's position. But when baby's deep-seated and head down, we wouldn't want to mess around with peppermint too much. So to a breech baby, though, but applying to the lower abdomen will actually make the baby want to move away from it. So you apply it where his head would be. And he may move away. Myrrh works as well. And reposition himself.
That's amazing.
Great alternative.
Again, another great alternative to avoiding the C-section, having natural birth.
Wow. Why not give it a try?
Yeah.
So that's been great. And with me, now that my children are getting older, peppermint's been huge for fever reduction. Every fever, I circle the belly button with 1 drop around the navel.
Really?
I dilute it for children under 2. And the fever is brought down in 20 minutes, guaranteed. Never have I had it not.
When you say dilute, you dilute with?
A carrier oil.
Okay.
So typically I use a high-quality oil. Young Living makes a phenomenal one. Comes in a pump. It's a vegetable oil complex made up of 7 oils. But you can use organic olive oil, coconut oil. Almond, yes. Quite a few different oils out there. Jojoba, just make sure they're pure. If your oils are not pure, if you say, for example, purchase an oil from a drugstore, the essential oils go to work on the oil first.
Interesting.
And break down phytochemicals, anything that's not good. And
and so you're getting even more diluted than you really wanted to because it's having to do some work
first.
Wow. Good tip.
Another good tip, if you don't mind me adding, go through a bit of a process of cleansing your body before you introduce the oils. Because if you are using conventional shampoos, toothpastes, deodorants that are full of petrochemicals and parabens, your body will go through a detox. So I myself had been in really good shape. I'd been a nursing mother, very clean system. The oils were beautiful. They just transitioned perfectly into our home. But I've since experienced otherwise where people's bodies may resist them a little. So just think cleansing before introducing a new regime.
Okay, very good. Okay, so one of the things that was interesting for me when I first got them is I kind of just used them straight. And I heard of other methods of using them but wasn't very comfortable with it, or I didn't have the right tools. How do you really use these? I mean, well, I'll show you a little bottle here. They come in these little bottles, and you know, it's pure and it's strong, and not everybody can handle them pure and strong. So how else can we be using them?
Well, that is a very common question, because I will get a mother very interested in a particular oil, and then she'll take it home and go, I don't know how to use this. Sometimes if she's unsure, she may not use the oil then out of lack of confidence. So the best thing is, I like to let people know there's so many methods in which to add the oils to your environment or introduce them to your body. My favorite method is to diffuse oils. As you can see from this gorgeous diffuser, an ultra fine mist of cold air diffusion is necessary. In the past, we all thought we would put oils on a ring and throw it on the light bulb. That's absolutely not what to do.
Oh, right. What was that?
Body Shop or something.
Right. Yeah, I had one of those.
Yeah, we all did.
It was like the potpourri type of thing, but also the liquid thing. Yeah.
So you've got to get the potpourri and scented world out of your mind, and think instead of therapeutic. And you cannot heat a lot of therapeutic things. So with this, the same is true. You don't want to heat your oils. So diffusing with a cold air diffusion or ultrasonic diffusion is the best. If you don't want to purchase a diffuser, a couple drops on a cotton ball in an air vent can work just well. As for bath time, now you're dealing with, typically with children, warm, maybe not hot baths, so you won't have the evaporation that you can have if you add oils to a bath. Typically within seconds they're in the air and that's it. With children, what I like to do is I like to blend it in with the massage oil with something like the V6 or with bath salts, with Epsom salts. And so I'll mix them with my hands and then mix them into the water. And that actually helps them submerge into the water instead of staying just on the surface.
Because it is an oil. Oil, water, they don't mix. Right.
There's some other great ways. I make personal body sprays for myself, for my clients, for my children. You can take a good quality little bottle. Typically darker is better to preserve the oil. Mix with a little bit of distilled water, a couple drops, and then you're able to spray the area to either change the energy in the room, improve the atmosphere, or to receive the direct effects through inhalation. So that's another method of diffusion. The most direct method would probably be using the oils neat, as you indicated, and as you did naturally, right? These oils are great for that. They're safe. So applying them neat and using Vitaflex techniques are phenomenal. There's a lot of references out there. I use the Essential Oil Desk reference, which points to the Vitaflex method, which is similar to acupressure, using meridians and points in the foot. So I can, with pinpoint precision, apply an oil, drive it in with my nail, and I'm not then applying it to the whole organ.
Wonderful.
So that's great, especially if a mother doesn't necessarily want to be touched from, you know, a certain area of her body. It can work just on her feet.
Right. I've heard also just the shoulders is a very effective area.
And the ear, apparently. There's a lot of different maps for the ear. So you can, the sky's the limit. And I think, again, inviting in your intuition always helps. I've been guided to put Dye Guys on, which is a blend of oils, on my son's feet for some reason, and it just so happened it really did help him at that time. So we just don't know sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
There are other products that we do carry, for example, body lotions that have the oils infused, as well as nutritional supplements that contain those oils as well. So we're getting them in different ways. There's also implants like rectal. Believe it or not, the quickest way to treat a lung condition is through the rectum.
Wow. So,
yes, using essential oils internally can be incredibly effective, especially with respiratory distress.
Okay.
If you have an asthmatic at home, you'll know why that's so important.
Right, yeah.
Lastly, direct inhalation to me has been a great one. If I take a bottle and open it, I can sort of have a moment, and really, I know I witnessed you do it when I got here.
I know, absolutely. It's as simple as, I don't know what this one is.
Endoflex. Give it a smell. Everyone loves that one.
Yeah, and just simply doing that, that is nice. Yeah. It's very pleasant.
Endo cream.
Yeah.
balancer. So that's typically what I would do. I would talk with a mother or anyone for that matter, and just have them touch the oil, smell the oil themselves, and then I'm witnessing their reaction.
Right.
If they're a little nervous about it, I may make a mental note to introduce that oil later on.
Right.
It might be too high vibration.
Yeah, I mean, you do. There are certain ones I was talking about. You know, for some reason, the cedar wood.
Yes.
I am not. I'm kind of repelled by it right now, and I don't know why. But it's one that my son needs to use, so it's kind of something I have to work with. So there are different ones that we are drawn to, which is very interesting. There's, of course, the other method of cooking.
Yes. Oh, of course. Ingesting, cooking. With cooking, I always recommend adding the oils near the end.
After. Yeah, because again, we don't want to heat it, so it's not something you're doing from the start, but it's something that you can add in.
As a flavor enhancer.
Probably nice on salad dressings, things like if you make your own.
I've been making whipped cream for the children. Using orange essential oil. I've used lavender and mixed it in with ice cream.
Oh, wow.
I do make salad dressings constantly with the citrus oils. I'll add basil and oregano to my spaghetti sauce.
Right.
The list, you know, I'm even starting to eat and consume oils that I would have never normally thought of that aren't food oils. So it is quite interesting when you open up to that.
There's just a whole huge world of ways to be able to get these beneficial oils into us.
Into us, exactly.
Wonderful.
And the best way, I actually overlook this because sometimes people won't be open to direct inhalation or diffusion or a massage, full body massage. I am a diffuser. I'm a human diffuser. So I anoint my own self with oils. I commonly love a blend that we care called Three Wise Men for that very reason. I'm heading to a birth, and sometimes I'll even share that blend with the other birthing staff, whether it be a midwife or obstetrician and nurse. Can be really a nice bonding moment. As well, I can wear Peace and Calming or an oil that just uplifts the mood in general. So I know I'm a human diffuser. I wear the oils as such. Yeah.
Wonderful. I love that. So, essential oils, we've seen them used in a variety of ways. We've seen the different stages that we can use them in through pregnancy and beyond. Let's talk just a little bit more about the kids, because kids really do like them. So why is that, first of all? Why do you think that kids love these so much?
I'm still wondering, but I've just summed it up that they know what works best for them. Children cannot lie. And they actually gravitate. They even gravitate towards specific oils. For example, when my son's in the back of the car on a long drive, he'll specifically ask by name an oil that I know is for nausea, without me telling him that's the nausea oil.
Right.
So more and more that's happening. Even if he encounters someone who he notices is having a bad day, he will suggest for them that they smell a citrus oil, or maybe they need a massage. So he's starting to think, and the children are starting to turn to these oils and think of them first before anything, even before a Band-Aid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
So that was proof enough for me that A, they worked, B, they were well accepted, and actually a match for what it was my family was seeking. They're not for everybody. Sometimes you introduce oils to people and they have a completely unexpected or different reaction. I talked to a gentleman recently who was a recent heart attack victim.
Okay.
And when he's highly medicated now, obviously, through his care. And all of the oils to him smelled like solvents and chemicals.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So you can only imagine.
So as you were mentioning before, putting the essential oil into an non-pure or carrier, for example, like the is this V6? It's called V6. It works first on the chemicals and things like that. Yeah. So I'm wondering if that's what it's doing in the body, and therefore triggering that.
It is 100%. And he's asked me to, check back with him again later on. So that's going to be nice. I also do that passively anyway when I work with someone with the oils. If I introduce to them a couple of oils they like, and some they may be a little more resistant, I make a mental note to attempt to reintroduce that oil to them at a later date after they've had some experience with some of the easier oils.
Right.
And when I say easier oils, I really actually mean a lower frequency oil.
Ah, interesting. Because there are, for those, energy healers and other enthusiasts of this kind of stuff, very, very interesting about the whole energy and frequency of all the different oils. I mean, you can get really technical in that sense if you want, but overall, you don't have to know all that kind of stuff, and you just can go by what appeals to you.
Yeah,
so that's the simplest way. And like you said, if it's not smelling the way it should smell, there's probably
a reason.
Yeah. And or even you gave me a couple to smell, and I kind of said, oh, it went off to the right, or it, so it's having some sort of a reaction with me and working its way the way it does. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Azure, we have learned so much today. We have gone from the whole pregnancy experience to our kids having fun with essential oils. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom.
Thank you. And thank you for keeping this a secret.
I know. I will tell you that it was a fun surprise when Azure arrived today, because I have not revealed it, at least at the time of filming, to many people. So I'm about 6 months along, but
so wonderful.
It's going to be a fun surprise to let everybody see that I'm going through my little miracle pregnancy here. And
I know you will be working with the oils because of your love for them.
I will be.
I'm here to help you every step of the way.
Thank you so much.
Yes, that was wonderful.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Another smell?
You want me to smell it too? Let me smell. Thank you.